Hello and welcome to another day of Incense and Maureen. TarotVisions, Maureen. Web TV, interactive chat room, and readings for all. And hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Maureen. You look gorgeous.
I look like a sheepdog. Okay, yeah, I did get the hair cut off. See, everybody look. It's like a sheepdog or one of those helmets from. What year was that when the football helmets were like this? But thank you, and I know you're always complimentary, but I don't like it. You know, I really liked it first. You know how I am, and boom, don't like it. But besides that, those of you who don't know me, and some of you don't. Oh, hi, Doug. Doug knows me all too well. And hi, Julie. And everybody that's not in the chat room and is listening outside the chat room, if you'd like to come over to TarotVisions.us and click on live show, it's very easy as it can get of any other chat room, I feel, except Psychic Access, TalkRadio.com. That's pretty darn easy. But come on over so I can interact with you and torment you, or Julie can help me torment you. And anyway, I'm an intuitive, psychic, crazy woman, an empath, and I utilize my tarot cards here. Small, you know, I don't usually show a lot of. Oh, sometimes I do. This is a Mary Hanson Roberts deck. Very small, very pretty. And this is like my 100. I keep all my old decks, Julie. I have about 55 or 60 of these ones, and some of my. But I use these as my tool. I don't really need them, but I feel much more okay in my own mind about seeing something in front of me so I can visualize and whatever. And I love my work, and the best thing about when I read, or the best thing I like about reading in my profession is spiritual development, helping people with their stuff like that. But I can help other people with all other issues. I'm well versed, and I'm also self-taught in every way. So I go off of the normal realm of cards, and I'll go off the normal realm of cliffs. But I do have integrity, and I do also, I feel very strongly that the tarot is a symbolic record of human experience. And for me it was like that, and that's how I connected with them by accident. I led myself. So that's who I am, Maureen. And Julie, hi.
Hi.
And Julie is my lovely co-person that helps me out with my phones and helps me out in everything. And I really appreciate you, Julie. And there's Doug in there in the chat room. And Doug, I'd like to say, and also Doug, yet another person that I feel really strong about. He's been a mentor, and he's been more, even then some more than that. But thanks for being in the chat room, Doug. I appreciate it. I don't know why all these people. So everybody go to that chat room. If you're over at Livestream, all you people, I know all you people. If you're over at Livestream, please go to TarotVisions.us. Click on live show. It's very easy. You type in whatever you want for your name, or you can go in as a guest. You type in whatever, password you want. And really, you don't have to do it again, password confirm. It's very simple. And bam, you're in. And you get to pick the, what do you call it, the size of screen? Well, Stephen's in here. Hi,
yes,
Stephen.
you do choose the window size.
Yeah, and that. Thanks, Doug. You have an opportunity to choose, like if you're in a smaller, whatever, smaller like this size screen. You can pick the chat room window size. So please come over. And Stephen, hi, Stephen. Stephen, I believe this is Stephen from. He's one of my co-host pal over at Psychic Access TalkRadio.com. Hi, Stephen. And I just want to shout out, I was listening to Stephen and Steve, both are my like-minded co-hosts on Psychic Access TalkRadio.com. What seems to say, I don't know. Oh, also, I'm looking at the chat room over here, everybody. When I'm staring over here, I'm not staring in space. I know you're here. But I'm reading, I can read. And it says, I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some tarot visions. Well, can you, what do you call it? What's that dance? What is that these people are doing with their butts? Actually, twerk. Can you twerk? Can you twerk? Can you twerk, Steve?
I cannot personally.
I don't think I'm going to try it after. Just kidding.
I posted something on my Facebook earlier that girls are cuter when they have a fishing pole in their hand than they are when they're twerking.
You got to be kidding me. At least it's not having a. Speaking of which, I went to a really nasty well, really provocative. Not even it's nasty, and I don't. Never mind about that. I'll go into a phase of I'll probably ponder and not come back. But anyway, Steve and Steven had a show on, and I did listen to it. I wish I didn't know if there was an opportunity to go into a chat room, Steven, or anything, but I did listen. It was a very interesting program they did. Are you going to be doing this every weekend or every week, Steve, on Friday nights, Steven? They were doing a thing on the astrological, things on the charts of Jeffrey Dahmer. Did you know, Julie, isn't that interesting?
Yes, I listened to it. It was fascinating.
And I'm wondering, are you going to be doing this on a weekly, or is this a one-time thing, Stephen? Stephen says, oh, he's talking to someone else. I guess I just don't get near it. Okay. So, well, whatever, Stephen, you just go ahead and solve those audio issues while I sit here and ask you. I'm just messing with you. So this is a live call-in show, and you can call in for a reading at 858-952-1090, or TarotVisions, all one word, is my Skype name, and you can come through Skype also. Hello, guest. And he shaved. Stephen shaved because the girls like shaveness. Okay. Hello, guest. I know we'll know the guest. You'll probably figure out who that guest is, huh, Julie? Anyway, my holy water. Very important. I just filled it up because I did go to church a couple of times. This Easter is very important to me because it's like when I talk about useful sacrifice in here. I don't know if some of you don't know me. I do talk about that. I always tell people if they're whining, complaining, and they're useless sacrifice. I go, here's some wood and some. I live at the beach. Here's some long pieces of wood, some nails, and a hammer. Go across the street on the beach and nail yourself to the cross. Nail yourself to the cross. And here I am praying in my life. And but there's useful sacrifice where we get to be nailed, but we get resurrection. So either way is fairly painful, but it's much better to do useful sacrifice. And if you don't know what that means, well, I'll tell you. Go on and on. But it has a lot to do with that. Well, I can go into some cards. Stephen's also JD. JD, hello JD. Is there a JD in here? And you say JD. Hello JD. Just JD new. If
yes.
You are, hi JD. Thanks for joining us. And thank you for putting that in there. Julie is running the show here while I'm focusing on chat room in here. So if you'd like to call for a reading, please do so. I do ask because of this venue or the situation I do and the time restraint I have for doing readings. I do feel it's important that I ask you to have one direct question for me because I can better help you with the time frame in here where I can't give long reads. And that would be lovely. And self-reading.
You should tell us the story of the Tubby. Is it Tubbies? What was that?
Oh, the Teletubbies.
Teletubbies.
That's right. That's right, Stephen, you were there. I was talking about the Teletubbies. The other night on Thursday night, we have a great new host who just joined us, and I think she'll be there with us for a long time, Sadia, and I just adore her, and I adore my boys, and Psychic Access TalkRadio.com on Thursday evenings is a different venue than this. It's very structured, and it's lovely, but this is lovely for Saturday night. But anyway, we had hi Bobby Gill's here, and we had I was talking in the chat room to people about how I used to work as a party animals. It was called Party Animals. This was back when I first moved here, whatever. And they had the costumes they wear at Disneyland, for instance. They're the real ones. Usually they have fans in them. Those people, they don't walk around in luxury, Mickey Mouse and everybody, when they have the full gear on. So I would be sent out as Winnie the Pooh or Blue's Clues or Pink Panther or a bunny, but one particular was Lala from Teletubbies. Now, some of you may not know what Teletubbies is, Doug. I don't know if you do, but it's pretty off the wall. Teletubbies is pretty big, not when my daughter was growing up, but they're crazy, and I don't think they're not much popular anymore. But Lala, they're kind of trippy. They're trippy. They're on LSD. But anyway, so I was hired to do a party for Lala as Lala. I remember getting in my garb, and it's not just garb. You have a full mask, and it's like really intense. It's professionally. It's a professional costume. It's just like you don't put in a couple of ears and you can see your face. You're completely engulfed in heat and torment. And this one didn't have a fan inside of it. It was pretty hot. And so I ended the thing, and I went over to my brother's house in Rancho Santa Fe, and I wanted to entertain my nieces and nephews, right? Because they're little tykes. So I went over there, and I decided to put the outfit back on. Instead of taking it off, I went straight to what I did 2 hours for these kids. I went there, and it was hot. And I was driving with air conditioning. Still, it was a hot day. And I go in there, and I entertain them like I just push myself to do. And you can't even breathe. You get something. If they want to give you a drink, you've got to get a straw somehow in there. You can't bring it inside at all. You've got to get some straw that goes, real large straw, and somehow you can get it in your mouth even to get a drink. Unless you want to ruin your cover. And you don't want to do that to kids. So I entertained them, and so by this time I hadn't eaten. I barely slept, and I was leaving Rancho Santa Fe where my brother lives. It's a real exclusive area, and suddenly I have seizures or epilepsy. They've said I had a couple of things. I don't know. Plus, I was very overheated. I'm driving, and I took off the costume, and I go, oh, my mom was with me. I go, I don't feel good, and every time I have a seizure or these epilepsy attacks, I first, no offense, you guys, I'll get sick, like, bleh. And I pulled over, and then suddenly the highs start coming in. And so I'm driving a few more miles through this gorgeous little thing, and I'm like, Mom, I think I'm having a problem. Maybe I need to go to the hospital. Because in the past, I could feel the highs will go in my throat as I almost died. And it was all because of that La costume. I just can reflect back, and maybe it was my stress. I don't know. So Lala's the costume's off of me at this point. I did take it off. But so I pull over at this area 2 miles down the way, and I start ripping off all my clothes in my car with my mother because the hives and welts are coming over me. So I never did. I quit. I stopped doing those animal, what did I say? It was called party animals. And I used to get paid, it was like $100 for a gig. It was really kind of easy work. But the thing of it is, that damn Lala is always reflective because I ended up, the ambulance did have to come immediately, but not until after I had all my clothes off in my car.
Wow.
Because I was so bad, and my mom's like going, I go, Mom, I think that really, I usually am a tough person. I go, you need to, and we didn't have a cell phone. For some reason, we didn't have cell phones. She had to get, it was a little bit before the time of a lot of, well, I don't know. It was like the year 1999, something like that. But she didn't have one, whatever. And so I go, you got to go running that ride and you need to call the ambulance. I was scared. So by that time, literally, I was naked in my car. And I was like, and then my throat was clogging up. And the guy gets there, and he sees this big thing in my car. And I had this little Lexus, the little small ES 300 time, and my mom scratched it. I go, and then I had a sense of humor. I go, we look like lesbos, right? I like my gay girlfriends, but really, and I go, oh God, I got to take off my clothes. So when they got there, he goes, it looks like your clothes are pretty much off. I go, yeah, and I couldn't breathe, and they immediately put me into something. But that was my big thing, and I was trying to tell you, Stephen, about it. And he left the chat, but oh well. Hi, Rufus. Stephen left the chat as soon as I went. That was my love.
Stephen says he can't see you.
Well, maybe it's just as well. Because it's this haircut. But
Julie,
Julie, that's what I was trying to say, how much Lala, I reflect back on those days of Lala, and it sets me to spin, because I haven't had that bad of an episode. They had to keep me overnight because it was so bad. They had to give me whatever they give me, because it is scary in your throat. It cuts off you can't breathe, you die. And so, but I remember going, he goes, well, see, you have your underwear. See, you have all your underwear. I mean, I was just like, yeah, well, I was, you start, my head, everything welts all over me. But they did, mention that was part of my epileptic stuff. So hello to anybody else that's coming and I haven't seen you. Bobby Gill, hi, Bobby Gill. I hope you're doing well. So anyway, if you'd like to call in, and got video but stopped and no sound now. Do you think it's on my end, you guys?
I don't know. I'm seeing you fine, and let me make sure there's sound.
Well, anybody else having Doug, are you having any problems?
Yeah, I have sound just fine.
Doug, Doug usually, no, you are fine too. Okay. I guess it's the rest of you people. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, I think that, my mom keeps coming in there saying she doesn't have these, whatever I said, and I told you the same thing. I go, I don't know what to tell you, but you can listen to archives. And that's why on both Thursday night and she can't get in there Thursday or my show. I don't know why. But I don't know. We'll have to look it up. And I am freezing up. That doesn't look like me. Ew, who's that? Listen, so you guys want to call it? Now's the time. 858-952-1090 or TarotVisions is my Skype name. It's spelled all one word. TarotVisions is my Skype name. Hi, Mary.
Do you want to pull just a card for me and tell me about it?
Absolutely. That's a good idea. I'm thinking about doing that on my YouTube. Remember, I was almost... Oh. This is nice. Let me get my book. No, I'm joking. I'm not giving my... Yes, and I will go on cards. I usually go off the cards because, my interpretations are my very own. You have this. It's very nice. And if you look at this, it feels like there's a lot of good energy with another female surrounding you around your home. And if I didn't know you, I'd say it looks like you're going to be connected with, and it could be, it's like a sisterly feeling. I'm not saying it's your sister, but somebody's really, your home is feeling lovely, and somebody wanting to kind of hang out and be around it. And probably, and I do know, Julie, even the information I do know, you've done so much great stuff, because Julie has been redoing, like when you move into a new home, you redo it how you want it. So you have been doing that as time goes on. And every time you do more, it's more like cool for you and your home. So what I'm seeing is outside, I see planting, or I see you doing flowers, or the landscaping of if that makes any sense.
That does.
And I see a female energy around that with you. And it's like a sisterly, maybe it's one of your daughters or something, but whoever this is, it's wonderful. And it's almost like it's like having a house guest there. But just,
nice.
Yeah, it is nice because it's female, and it's also, it's like, when we're working with living plants and stuff, and it's the time of year, the next thing you do, you're going to want flower, things around for color outside. And would that be your next step, perhaps? Were you talking about that?
Yes. I'm going to be planting some flowers.
And I do see some white, I can see some taller things with white flowers. And, I see you, and this other woman looks like she has like a light auburny hair color. That makes sense.
Interesting.
But this card has to do with that, whether my hair color is right. But it's really positive.
Yay. Thank you.
Hi, Susan. Well, don't thank me. This one?
True.
This one's still on to the past. Well, run. Run, dog, run. Okay, and so, yes, I did go to okay. I don't know if I should do this. If I could get a clean one, I don't know. I showed Doug some. Yeah, I went to a bachelorette party, but Jesus, it was out of this world. They do things a little bit different from when I remember doing it. Yeah, this guy's really interactive with every single one of us, and my mom. Everybody was concerned my mom was going to have a heart attack, but she loved it. She was 84-year-old, going, but her face is giving like a look, but she was pretty into it, and it was vulgar. Some of it was, I gotta even say for me, it was pretty out there. Oh, good Lord. I mean, good Lord. Should I say, good Lord, praise Jesus, amen. Please forgive me for all the nasty sins that I saw last weekend. Or the nastiness I saw. But he was pretty good looking, and he had a hot body, okay? And he was a boy. He's a young boy. I call them boys in their 30s. He's probably about 35, Julie. Is that a boy still? That's a kid.
No.
Is that my weight? Could that be a son?
Man.
Wait, that could be a
boy.
35, 45.
No.
Wait a minute, that could be a son of mine, Julie. Come on.
35?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, barely. I guess so.
But still, that won't stop me from going out with someone 35.
No.
Absolutely not. So, I'm cracking you up. I am funny. Yeah. Wait, how about this? Don't have any other things. Well, I got this and I got that. So
I personally, I don't see age as an adherent to any kind of love or anything like that.
No,
ever.
I don't either. Okay, so this is the Peace Harmony Buddhas. Please call in for Peace and Harmony. My daughter sent me that from Thailand. My face is like, ah. So please call in if you'd like a reading from the best manipulator in the world called Maureen. No, I'm not a manipulator. I know you guys are shy, but you know what? This is only an hour show, so go for it while the going's good. Is that RTM? Is that Rufus?
That's Rufus.
Hi, Rufus. Yeah, I thought he does that little tricky thing. And what did she say? Gustolia?
Hala.
Hala?
Uh-huh.
I like that.
I think that's G, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably is G. You're always good about that. Is that G? Is that the G? G.
All right, Susan's going to call.
Oh, great. Good, Susan. I'm glad to hear you will. Because, I don't have any guests on. Mary, is she still here? Let me see.
Yep, I think it is G.
It is G. Hi, G. Okay, and Stephen, you can always call in too. Mary didn't stay very long. Oh, there's somebody.
Hello.
Hi, is this Susan?
Yes, it is.
Hi,
how are you doing, Maureen?
Fine. How are you, Susan? How's Easter?
It was very nice. How about you?
It was very religious and very disgusting, very filthy oriented because I went to saw porn. I went to church the following morning. Bachelorette party. But thank you, Susan. It was okay. It was nice. It was nice.
Yeah.
So I'm curious.
I missed the first few minutes of the show. I was out, so
let me say.
Coming back.
Don't worry. I said, "Oh, hello, everybody. I'm crazy, and this is Maureen." Blah blah blah. That's about all you missed.
You crack me up.
I crack myself up, even though I'm not funny even. But Susan, I'm ready for you. I'm ready.
You know probably what I'm going to ask. I actually would like you to expand on that. You told me you saw a bright glow on that picture I sent you.
Oh, okay. And it's about time. Like I said, I really apologize. I wasn't. Well, you heard my. It wasn't. Never. You know my intentions are good. Take it personally. I always think I've taken care of something when I haven't. I have to start exercising my mind a little bit better because I thought I told you, and I thought really good. Okay, this is what the feeling when I saw that photo. This is what I felt, and I'm using my cards too, but this is what I felt. And it's even like portraying. It's like I see a sense of unhappiness, but I feel that that's coming from the past. As unhappiness is coming from, because I think because it's the past, but you right now, reflecting on. So this photos, and I had seen this before, but what I saw this photo as being like, I saw two individuals. And when I'm talking about a photo, everybody, I'm not saying I'm looking beyond appearances. It's not just I'm looking at two people and their eyes and what they're looking like and, the cheekbones. It's not like that. It's like beyond appearances. I just want to make that clear. I know Susan, that is true, but other people may not get it. I'm not just going to look at a picture and go, okay, that thing. It has nothing to do with that. It's just about just going beyond. And, in fact, I think we all could take a lesson and go beyond appearances, everybody. Even when you're out in the street, Jeffrey Dahmer wouldn't have picked you up if you got anyway, I just want to bring it up because really, stay away. But I get a feeling, the energy I got coming from you guys, and it was lovely. It was like two people I felt really being able together, taking control of the direction of their life or the relationship in their life, which way they wanted to go. So, and also I saw a sense of both the energies of you two wanting, even though I know it may not have been talked or even discussed, it's like I see the energy of you two being really great as a married couple. And even though you didn't have that opportunity back before when you were, you've already gone through that, I know, and you had your children, you still regard marriage really positively, which I find really positive too. And with that said, I feel that that's one of the things I feel that he feels. It's just like it's the energy bouncing off each other. I feel that that's really what he likes or not likes. What he gets a lot from you, like being together, like there's someone here that's not going to just want me and throw me away. Although I know his behavior and all that. We do know that. But I also feel that when I looked at it overall, I felt that there was definitely the stagnation part of it going on. And that's okay. It's almost like it's supposed to be stagnated. And that photo was taken a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How long, was it years? How long ago was that?
That picture?
Yeah.
Let's see, 2011.
Okay. So with that said, I do feel that the stagnation part is part of the thing that was going on at the time that photo was taken, although everything is in play. Everything that you would check, I don't usually say this, check. It's just like, it just felt what I felt from it was so authentically right, and also I do feel that you have, even though it was, like I said, not talked about, you both had the same vision. And the role models, and I don't know if he ever talked to you about marriage. He hasn't, what's the situation with him? He's never been married. That's right, no. Never been married. But I don't know, did you ever speak to him? I know I asked you this before, and I'm sorry, so everybody else can hear. Did you speak to him about ever wanting, or did he ever open up to you about wanting, or even indicating that word, commit, or lifelong partner, whichever it would be, they will, skivvy around that.
We never specifically talked marriage, but I remember the only comment he ever made was the day he fully gave his heart was the day he was on bended knee.
Okay. So he is. There's that. That's come on. That's a symbolic action. He bended knee. You said. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the proposal. Strike a pose, right?
Yeah.
Strike a pose. So that is some way of giving insight to his. He is old fashioned, but I do feel that. I know things didn't work. As I kept feeling that full moon, and I'm going to say this about this. I see two people in that photo that have already, obviously stagnation's already happened, obviously, and that's fine. But I also feel two people that I saw in that photo I viewed as really thriving in life, in this life, not coming back into another life, and also coming up in this reading I'm even looking at and bringing it into the photo, I do feel there's something of a very new change of residence surrounding this. I don't know, something very big change, and it looks like around August, September, and I feel a big burden will be off your back. And this pertains to you guys as a couple, though. And it's like a brand new beginning. Now, I do want to say this, that I know because Susan, everybody, I've read for Susan. She's a private client, and so I know about her stuff. But I do want to say this. And I want to use this as give you a little bit example, because I felt really strong about. Remember that moon stuff and everything else is going on. But I don't know if you ever went to if you decided to go to check out any. So if you went out and socialized, and you don't know what I mean, by chance of running into him, I don't know if you ever did that at all.
I haven't done that.
So you did do that.
So
that was your choice. And I remember talking about that with you, because that time period I was feeling, if you had, I felt it would have been positive, but I wasn't saying encouraging you must do this. I just feel that it's okay. It's not about being right or wrong, but I do want to say this. I was reading for one of my clients, and this will help you understand and I said to her, it's going to be a long road before you're going to reconnect with this. It's hard. It's going to be very difficult. Well, when do I hear from you? It's not going to be this month. Not going to be this month. It's like months have gone by. So finally, I did read for her again, and she said to me, well, I went over to his house, and this is the thing she wouldn't do, of course. Like, you can relate to that. Well, this guy, forget it. He hasn't contacted, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go over to him. But she made a conscious choice, and I got to hand it to her. She was very brave. That takes a lot of guts and the ego, put it in its side. And she went over there, and she shook things up a bit to make it so. Like when I read, I always say, well, people, it's up to you. You have a choice to make it so it could be put back on track. For in this situation, I guess what I'm trying to say to you, a lot of people can sit there and do this and that, but I felt so strong about that. Remember by going on about that moon, and then lo and behold, the blood moon came on after that. But you did, but I did mention maybe if you decide to reach out and you go, yeah, well, maybe I might run into, maybe I'll do this, maybe. And like I said, it's not about being right or wrong, or you did the bad thing or good thing. It was just timing. So nevertheless, I do still see from the photo, I see a change. I see a new beginning, but it could have happened maybe sooner, perhaps, if we make choices to do certain things a different way. That's all. Do you follow what I mean by what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
okay,
I do.
Good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got to say, I told my client, I said, listen, if it was me, I wouldn't have done what she did. I would have not done it, probably myself. I was really happy to hear she did. I mean, that took a lot of courage, because but she did.
Well, I mean, last year at this time, I was seeing him a little bit, here and there.
Right. Yes.
It just kind of like, at first it seemed good, then it was okay, and then he kind of got cold again, and I was like, oh.
Right, and there was a pattern, but I do feel that there's a change and a burden off your back to where like I said, for a shift. There's also a lot of psychic communication I see festering. And you'll know when you're about ready. It's funny. And I do see all the judgment that you two put on yourselves about you and him both about it's released. And I feel that it's self-judgment, both of you with the self-judgment. And it's not, I don't feel yours is the same as his. And also, you know what, Susan, I see a sense of finally fairness, justice, and it's like, it's beyond the legal terms. I'm talking about fair justice in this. Oh God, here goes my past life voodoo. But I do feel strongly about past lives. I don't say I believe it. All I know is what I know. But it's like finally the scales have been tipped and it's equal balance, and that's why I feel that you'll get to it. I see him being more of the aggressor heading towards you.
You see what? I'm sorry.
Him being in the aggressor or very assertive and coming towards you. And it looks like him.
Okay.
So with that with the pit photo, I saw, like I said, the energy I got was you two. You're not crazy for one, okay?
Yay!
No, and you know what I mean by that. And it does feel like he definitely wasn't full of himself. And I know you know all this anyway, but I know it's hard when you're walking around. You have one good friend. I know you said that support system. It's hard for people. Some people's relationships are much more profound and different. What's that noise? Like, Well, anyway, I see a very lustful connection, which is a good. I don't feel it's a negative part of this. Lust. You guys have great. Baba boom, baba bing. Sorry. There's no problem there, and I do. In this case, I'd say, temptation, but I feel in this case, it's okay. Things are not what they appear to be, and even in that photo, that was 2011. Like I said, things have already come to be with that, but I do feel that you two are well matched up, and I'm not saying opposites don't try, whatever. I don't see this. You guys aren't through, but I do see coming up here some really great shift of change. Not like you're going to get a change, shift, money change. I see a really great new opportunity for new beginnings, and there's a lot of changes. But I do see there's a residence or home, something's different, positive, around late August, September.
Okay.
And you have
do you think we'll connect before then?
Well, yeah, I do, but also I feel that I see a lot of psychic connection. It's not the normal type of connection, but I also feel if you ever can have the opportunity to go, it's almost like out of face, out of mind, and that's like this client I was reading for is very similar. It was really important for her because it's been so many months because they had some issue. It was like, in some ways, a bit similar, but bottom line is, it's time to maybe try to seek out and just run into him, if you want to, if you can. Okay. I think it wouldn't be bad.
Okay.
Just saying, Susan. Just saying. But you have good things to look forward to. Honestly, very good things within 2 months. I'd say really great things for you too.
Good.
Well, good. No, it's good for you. Susan, you're sweet. I adore you. Thanks, Susan. I hope I helped you.
You did. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Susan. And thanks for coming.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.
I heard Julie. Thanks. Julie?
Okay, Stephen tried to call in, and I told him to go ahead and try back again now.
Okay. Well, I'm ready for Stephen. Which one? Is it Steve or Stephen? Hello? Is this Steve?
Hello.
Oh, there's a sexy voice. A little louder, please. Uh-oh.
I'm sorry?
There you are. A little louder, please, Stephen, so everybody can hear that sexy voice.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm on the air now, correct?
You are on the air, and I want you to talk that voice. Yes, you are, Steve. You are on, Stephen. You are on the air with me. This is my co-host from Thursday night. Everyone, let's give him the clap. Okay. Yeah, Julie did.
Okay.
Okay. What's up?
Well, thank you very much for taking my call, first of all. I am your colleague, very proud to say that. And my question for you is, I recently entered into this career as a spiritualist, a tarot reader, with a significant volume of clientele. And so there are some rough edges I would like to smooth over. I still feel a lot of apprehension, even fear sometimes. I don't feel that I'm completely in control of my game quite yet. And I was hoping that maybe you could give me some pointers, or maybe with what you see, maybe you can pick up on some things that I really need to do to be of better service to others with what I do, and also maybe to relax a little bit more.
You know, I'm glad you brought this up, Stephen. And in fact, I do want to say this. There's also Steve, is my boys. There's two girls. There's two girly girls and two boys on Thursday night. And I spoke to Steve a little bit about me messing this up as in a business aspect. And it was really nice because he has some course on that. But regardless of that, I went to him and he gave me some advice and put me in there to check it out. But anyway, with what you're talking about, I can relate to absolutely. But you said something interesting. You said you came in here with or actually you came in here with maybe not as much, but now you have a significant amount of clientele. Is that am I understanding correctly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've grown. You've grown as far as, is that my understanding? Is that what I'm hearing correctly? Right now, you've grown.
Absolutely.
Great.
That's a real thing.
Okay. I wanted to tell you this. What I feel, this is what I'm getting, and this is what also I feel about this, and I can identify with this like there's no tomorrow because I get paralyzed with this kind of stuff. You know, have you ever noticed if you get, it's scary, because what happens is it's not that people scare you, but you start getting overwhelmed, and this work is really hard, everybody. It's very hard because you'll get some people, and you know, Stephen, I love, you know, you read the tarot, I use the tarot, but we're two different. We do different things. I love your style, but also some people are not going to take to some person's style, and then I'm sensitive to things, and I shouldn't be. It's okay, but I am like that dysfunctional anyway. I've been going to therapy for 40 years for it. But with that said, sometimes I get to the point where I shut down completely, and I'm fearful of reading for clients. The clients that are fast clients, not the clients that I've, private ones, the ones I've known. But I'm talking about those faster ones that I'm talking about. We do on the site at psychicaccess.com, right? Do you find that's the stuff you're thinking? And I do notice this it's almost like exercising when you get really into exercising regimen and you're going to the gym, and suddenly you slack off for a bit, and then suddenly you just slack off, and then to get back into that, it takes all you got, but you know that once you do, you'll feel better. So what this work is about, when it's like after a while, it's a lot of emotions when somebody says, "Well, that didn't do any good for me," or they're not getting you, let alone later on they say they do, right? But you really want to help, and I know it's genuine, it's really authentic, Stephen. You're really great, and you're really real, and that's what I like about you, and it matters to you. But if you start, you asked a question about how. How did you say it? I'm sorry. My understanding was you were asking about how to be okay. How did Stephen repeat that part about with working with?
Right. Well, I'm hoping to be able to relax a little bit more, and perhaps give my readings with a little bit more, authority that comes from realization. I'm in charge of this. I know what I'm doing. There's always that fear, because you understand how it is. We get a lot of important questions. Should I buy this hotel? Yeah. Is my son going to get out of prison this year? Things like that, and I'm horrified that I'm going to really give somebody by accident some bad counsel sometimes, or what have you, because everybody makes mistakes. There's no human being on this earth who's perfect.
Yeah, but Stephen, the way I look at it is this. You can give, the way I tell people, I don't tell people. I heard you, Julie. Are you butting in, Ski, Julie? What's up? Julie, I can hear you.
Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Maureen. I apologize.
No, I'm here. Julie, what's up? They can wait. Julie, can you hear me?
Mary, not Mary. Maureen, you can hardly hear you.
Oh, really?
Oh, there, now you're back.
I can hear you much better now, Maureen.
Oh, I'm sorry. You should have spoke it up. Wondered why that's. Well, okay. I'm going to say. I'm sorry, Stephen. You've listened. Hopefully, on the archive, it'll be better. Stephen, what I guess I'm saying. When I read, for instance, I can only tell you where it works for me. When I'm reading for somebody, and some people just don't. It's very difficult. And I'll say, you've heard me talk about it when we do readings on the radio show, free readings. I say, listen, I want you. I said, no, I stop. I said, I'm encouraging you, just like you heard me talking to Susan. I encourage you perhaps to have look at it, this option. if you do this, perhaps, I'm encouraging you to do. I'm not telling you what to do. And also, I always look at things as being every negative can be a positive. So it gives them we don't have power over them, although we can. There's a lot of readers that manipulate. We can manipulate anybody. I don't. But you've heard a lot of readers about who does. They're all burning candle people or whatever they're doing. But Stephen, you're very good at, and you're really great at your passion. And people have a choice. So if you can't, and you're not giving bad advice, you're saying, hey, listen, I'm advising you, but really ultimately it's going to be your choice. And so when I see a negative, for instance, Stephen, a negative can always be the best thing because you can make some negative issue into a very positive. So if you see somebody, and I learned this a long time ago, for me anyway, it works. If I saw something that wasn't really great for them, and just in case I want them to hear it, listen, if there's, and I said I could be wrong, but I'm feeling that this may come about. So you're talking about how you're going to give them some good advice, and say you're seeing some things that aren't really positive. So how do you advise them to turn it around for them? I always say, listen, be aware of maybe what I'm talking about, or listen again, or whatever. And then, by chance, if something comes up and you can say, oh, no, that would never happen, go down to that next street. I said, Don, I'm giving you a silly example. I told him, don't cross that one street in October where it's really cold. Go to the next street. You'll just be in a better position. I'm not saying they're going to get run over, but they have a choice. And they have a choice. So your advice you're giving them is, listen, it doesn't hurt. And one time it'll be in your head and you might pick something out. It might be, I get like the cold. I feel cold or heat, or I feel it's like some month and it's the hottest time of the year, something. And I said, just keep your ear open. That's happened before. Someone goes, oh my God, I remember what you said. And I deferred away from it. And I took your advice by deferring away from the negative, and everything worked out. Now, that doesn't happen unless they want to be open to it. Stephen, you do really good. It's really hard, though, and then sometimes you just don't want to do it because it's hard. You want just people to get it, and then if you shut down and then you don't want to talk to people, like I do, right. That's the worst part because I get fearful. I get really fearful of answering a call.
Yeah.
And then I get to where I'm not
working. Like if I have one bad experience,
exactly.
That can cause me to avoid working for a little while. You know what I mean? Which is obviously not good.
That's exactly what I do. And I'm in the big, Doug knows it. Yeah. Doug's in there. Doug knows it now. And this is what, it's really kind of creepy. And it's really just, I'm very self-aware. It's kind of like this. I'm sick right now with this. I'm totally petrified. It's really scary. I get petrified. But like I said before, the longer you wait to get back into the gym too, it's like, but I do know once if I do it, if I just can cross the barrier of that dysfunction in my mind, all in my head, I feel so much better working. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it is part. It's it's in our heads, our thought. It's scary. It's almost like being a child, fearful of logging in. A call comes. Oh my God! And it's like I get it, Stephen. And all I can say is this: you're not the only one. You're not the only one who feels that way. I do. And I know that I get dysfunctional with it and I shut down. And I know when I shut down, the best thing for me is to be, and it's hard to muster up. Everybody's listening to this going, oh, what's the big deal? This is the work you do. Well, it is different for all of us, right? Steve, I get exactly where you're coming from. I hope you follow me on this because I do. So sometimes I feel like this when, here I'm trying to give you advice. I'm trying to give advice myself. I got to stop this nonsense and just go through it. I know one person, because the next call would be wonderful. It could be a really great one. Like we do on the radio show, too. Those can help. I mean, I have no problem taking reads on that radio show. It's funny.
We have always very generous with your advice. And again, you give me lots of wonderful tips. But I couldn't resist the opportunity to just call you tonight and, ask you whatever question I wanted. This has been on my mind. And I get it. You know what you're talking about.
And you're not alone.
And I admire and respect you, so I listen to your advice.
So Stephen, I guess the best thing mine's going on Thursday nights. We don't have any other choice. We must do readings, right? That second half, free readings, everybody. Right. Second half of that show, psychicaccess.com. And it's really generous, and we do free readings. But you know what? And so here I'm not working on the site, right? But it's the same thing. Faster, well, they're kind of like, a little bit less. But there's people that call up, we don't know. And you know what? I get through that, and then I'm going, now, what is the difference of me having a fear of going and logging in to doing, you know what I mean? I'm trying to look at it that way. If you follow me, that's helping my mind right now. Do you follow me with that?
I am.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, you know me a little bit by now, and I'm curious if there's anything that your cards are telling you or that you're picking up psychically that, for example, that I could do better. No. How could I serve our clientele better?
You can take off you could just rip off those clothes. Rip off those clothes and do the job. I'm sorry. I'm messing with you. I'm being funny. Listen, Stephen, this is what I'm getting. I feel that you're holding off. I always like to mess with you. There's some incompletion stuff going on here, and I do feel that you've already started. You're in that useful sacrifice I was talking about. But resurrection's coming real soon for you. I honestly feel that you're holding on to your creativity, your own ideas on your own. They're yours, and you want to make sure you keep them because you have a right to. Somebody else could, no matter what I give you insight. Really, Stephen, when it comes, you're a smart man. You have your own things going on. I'll come for you for insight. So really hold on to your creativity and ideas because some people want to take. I'm not saying I see people taking them, but they're important to you. It's almost like you're holding on close to your heart because you have something really good opportunity that you've already just started right now. Absolutely fantastic. And it may be an ordinary opportunity, but I see it being great. So right now, I say whatever you're doing, you just do it. But there is incompletion about the fear of poverty. That you have this fear of and see, this you and I are very similar. The fear, you need to feel like it's a more structural, conventional way of doing things. But I do feel that you're already heading in that direction, Stephen. You really are. I feel you are.
Oh. Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, then it's something that I'm going to improve in as I evolve.
You're already doing it without me even. It says it should be. It's still incomplete, and the fear is fear of poverty. You're not going to be poverty. But for you, you need very good structure, which I find fantastic. And you're learning it. I feel that you're gaining that at this time. And the more the next month goes by, it's easy for you to get the momentum of the conventional way of doing the work in the business aspect of it. Mm-hmm. You're doing fine. It's just incomplete. But your resurrection's been painful, but I see you coming back up like Jesus. He got to resurrect. Useful sacrifice. It's all the timing. It's good. And it's okay. It's just there's incompletion still, but you're moving in a really great direction. It's not something you talk about or you can, wear a sign on your face. You do everything you're doing. I see you taking the necessary steps, and whatever you're doing is correct. Oh, you're okay.
Oh, very good.
I mean, really, you know what? There's no secret formula for you. I see that everything is as it should be. Sometimes it's a little.
Well, I tell you what, I'm really lucky, Maureen, to have the counsel of good friends and wise people such as yourself, and I have a lot of help from those who know a lot better and a lot more than I do. I got a lot of help, and so I am very fortunate.
Yeah, and Steve, but you're also Stephen. You also have your head on straight, and you also are very smart and very truth. You're about truth, and you're authentic. I love that about you.
That's why I called tonight to hear all these things, Maureen. Can you talk a little bit about how handsome I am?
Yeah, he's extremely handsome.
I'm just kidding.
And he shaved it off. I'm happy he did. And he's single, but all the women. Steve, get out your information here for everybody here. The ginger. Can you give out your information out loud, please? Where to find your your. Go on.
Oh, where to find
you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got a lot of bloggers. I've got a lot of blogs on psychicbloggers.com, which is a great resource for finding a lot of different articles from different psychics on a wide variety of subjects. I have some articles on the gingerpsychic.com, which is where I have a lot of my articles. Some of those I can't publish on psychicbloggers.com because they go really in depth into astrology. So my general spirituality articles go over to psychicbloggers.com, and astrology articles go on thegingerpsychic.com. And Psychic Access, of course, you can always find me there. That's my mainstay.
Right, and Thursday nights also we do a great show, Psychic. Yeah.
We all do a great show on Thursday night. It's a team effort and one of the most positive aspects of my career. Because I got to meet you, Maureen, and benefit from your counsel.
Keep giving it to me. I'll take it. Like, oh, really? And also, he's emceeing everything, which is such a delight for me. I just sit back and you go, and you're doing a fantastic job, Steve. Because we just changed up the I was from there from the beginning. It's nice you've changed up. It's doing really well. You're doing the taking care of the whole show, really, and except for and it's fantastic. So everybody should go check it out. Stephen has so much passion for his work. I love it. And you're very intelligent. And his wording, you guys, he articulates, and he's like an encyclopedia. So what more can I say?
Maureen, I can't thank you enough for the guidance and the wisdom that you've given me tonight. I will heed every word. Every word was a pearl, as always. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen. Thanks for calling. I appreciate you coming in, too. A lot.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. And I'm going to pay attention to the rest of the show while I'm sitting here in the chat room enjoying my friend's company.
Bless your heart. And I'm giving you a bow. I'm giving you a bow and a clap. I'm giving you the clap. No, thank you, Stephen.
Thank you so very much, Maureen. We will talk later.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Julie, I got a little time with Stephen because, I could. Barbara was contacted. Okay, is there anybody else?
Oh, I can hardly hear you. It must be on my end.
No, Stephen said he couldn't hear me. What is going? Can everybody in the chat room hear me okay? Raise their hand.
Everybody in the chat said they could hear you just fine. I still can hardly hear you.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
There you go.
Damn. Yeah. My big mouth. Okay, is there, raise his hand. Wait, I know Gangster Gophers. She can't hear you. Oh, she hears me fine. Well, Julie, I think you ought to put that hearing aid on. And Barbara says she can hear me fine. Barbara, I wanted her to connect with you. Is there anybody else in line for readings right now? Julie, is there anybody in line for readings right now?
Not on my screen, no.
Barbara wanted to call in. Barbara
tried to call while you were with Stephen.
I know she did, and I didn't see that Barbara till after the fact. I would like Barbara to call in because I want to talk to her about doing a show on special synchronous. God, my face. Get my face too close to that camera. It's like, ah.
Here she is.
Oh, God. Was that my wrinkles on my face?
There's Barbara. Hi, Barbara.
Oh, good. Hang on a second. Let me just turn my volume. There we go.
I was going to keep my face.
Hi.
Hi, Barbara. It's nice to hear your voice.
Yeah, same here. Listen, the reason that I wanted to call in, and I was hoping to be on before Stephen got off, because, your reading for him was great. I just thought of something that I thought would be applicable.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are in the business where to do your job, you can get energized, but you can also become emotionally deflated. It's just it's the nature of the job. And I think you're both being too hard on yourselves because, first of all, Maureen, you know that you give people information that they tell you is just full of shit, and then years later call back and go, you know what, you were so right on it, just, it happened this way or whatever. So just because the people say to you, well, that didn't work or whatever their comeback is, that's because it's not that your reading is wrong, it's that it's, they don't see it or it hasn't happened yet, those kinds of things. Mm-hmm. But still, that's emotionally draining. So I used to kind of be in the same position when I ran this real estate club and people would ask me for quote unquote advice at the end of the meetings each month. But I don't give advice. I'm not a lawyer. I would just say, well, tell me what your story is and let me tell you what you may want to consider doing, that kind of thing. And it's exhausting because you feel like you have their future in your hands and they take you too literally, and you're not saying, do this, you're saying, well, this is something to consider, or, look at life this way, or whatever it is you're saying. They take it literally. It's like it's a guidebook or something, and it's exhausting, and I had to step away sometimes. So I totally appreciate and understand what you're both saying, because it is part of the nature of your job. And the fact that he even was willing to, he cares so much about what he's doing that he wants to continue to explore if he thinks he's not being, the way that perfect or whatever. And just the fact that he did that says so much about who he is. The fact that he's, feeling uncomfortable sometimes with some of these readings, I think it's simply just the saturation level. Sometimes you just have to step away, even if it's for a day or something, and go for a really long walk and just F the world and don't talk to anybody and just do whatever you need to do for you time. And then you find that you can actually step again and just shake it off and go, okay, I can do this again. And so that's all I wanted to say is just, you guys, don't be so hard on yourselves, because it's to be expected, and I still have full faith in all of the things that you do, and always have confidence in yourself, and be cool about stepping away, because you gotta just, you have to fuel up.
Yeah, and Barbara, I adore it. I just fuse with you so well, and even Stephen saying, great advice. And yes, I was just typing yes. I was starting to say yes something. Yes, pearls of wisdom, and yes, she does. And you're right about that. And then that is sometimes some people are too hard. Some people don't really give a damn either. And those are different people that do this work. But yeah, I do. And then and that's part of my own, that's my personal individual issues I've been working on. I've talked to you, I'm so open with my issues, whatever. And, it's true. And I need to work on those so I would knock it off and just move on and get on with it. But that's for another time. But you're absolutely right about that. And it's difficult. And sometimes it gets, and that's a good sign perhaps of a reader that really does, like I said, I love what I do, but boy, it is difficult. And sometimes someone says, why do you do? And I go, I don't know. I go, because I must. I just must. It's the way it is. And the bottom line is, whether I like it or not, it's what I must do. It's it. The end. I mean, and with my, other issues of like, I want people to like me or whatever the heck it is, or I don't want people, whatever my issues are, I need to get over it. It's my problem. You're right.
Well, but still though, you're always going to get to that saturation level simply because of the nature of the business that you do.
That's true.
But I permanently stepped away because I didn't want to be like that anymore. I didn't want to have to go through that and answer everyone's questions and feel like, because I saw some people succeed and most of them not, thinking that they were doing exactly what I had told them to do. And it's like, oh shit, man. Sorry, I should be more careful.
No, you can say whatever you want.
Barbara, be cool about everything. You guys are both great.
You can say the word shit. It's late night hour. It's adult hour. See, I like it. We can say F or D. You can say whatever you want. Huh? You can say shit at this time of night. You know that.
I admire the fact that you both, keep sticking in there and you keep doing it because you're driven to. Because it's just as easy to say, okay, I can find something different to do because this is emotionally exhausting.
Yeah, and Stephen is great because Stephen is really coming into his own. And I've been doing it longer than Stephen. I'm not saying I'm all that and then some, but I'm really seeing Stephen's really passion. And Doug's been really instrumental in mentoring in some ways of brand, what Stephen wants to do. And Stephen's really it's lovely him. He's the first time he's ever worked on like a site for site, and it's like he's coming to his own, and he's real. I like Stephen's style. He's real different than I am, but I love it. I appreciate it.
Well, I actually listened to the show on Thursday. What a powerful show that was.
It was good.
I mean, really, that was one of the best ones I've ever heard.
See, there you go.
But he was a great host. I'd never heard him before, but I hadn't been there in a while. But he's really an exceptional host.
Well, you see, we changed it up, and this is the first time we've changed it up in, 4 years, I think? Yeah. Where now he's like the MC that will do all the announcements, but we do our interview, and so me, like I said, it's so much nicer because I don't have to do all the work. I get my guest, we do our own guest, but we just have to be in charge of the interview, and Steve does all the introductions, does all the announcements, so he's taking care of all that, and he's doing a fantastic job. And it's really, so that's a different format we've done. So he's not anchor. Yeah, you like it then? You like that? I'm glad. Because I think the interview goes well for the person.
I didn't realize it was a different format, but I can tell you that I was really impressed by him when I listened on Thursday. So it's working. Yeah, I remember even thinking, "Wow, he's really good at this."
Yeah, and there was a brand new. We have a brand new Sadia. She's wonderful. She came on and she just joined us. She's our new host, like-minded fellow host, and it was her first show. So what we do now, when it's our interview time, we how we rotate. We do the interview, but Steve does. Hello, this is Steve. He does. We don't. The anchor person doesn't have to do all that talky stuff. We just do the interview. And Steve does all the other stuff and leads. I think it's a fantastic thing. It's almost like having what is it like having a having some
like having a host.
No, it's like having the main host do all the announcements, and we are just doing. We're lucky for us, our guests, and we rotate our guests, and we get our guests. All we have to focus on is our interview. That's fantastic, and he does all the rest instead of making we don't have to do all the announcements. We don't have to do all the other stuff. Our interview is just about that. And I think it's working out really well. He has a great professional way of making announcements and stuff.
That's actually the only reason I called in. I just wanted to make sure that I shared that because I wanted you guys. I didn't want you to suffer anymore.
I'm going to suffer. I'm going to be suffering. I know, Barbara. I really want to talk to you about you're going to be blown away with. When can we get together? I got to tell you about this off the air about this synchronicity.
Yeah, thing. Please remember.
I know. I don't know how. Well, I can always just see if you're up at a certain time. I know sometimes you're up late, sometimes not. But yeah. I'll just because I've been waiting because you're gonna.
Well, whenever you're online on Skype,
I'll just see if you are. I know.
Send me a message and see if I'm there.
Yeah, because I'm invisible on mine too all the time, so we might both be on. But yeah, you'll really get a kick out. And it's because of you that I want to talk about this because it was you that started it way back years ago, saying, tell your father when it was a message time, but it wasn't about the flip off. It's something even better, and you're just gonna. That's why I think you'll.
I can't wait now.
I can't wait.
By the way, your hair looks beautiful.
You like it? I thank you. I'll take that.
No, I know. I more than like it. I really love it. It's extremely flattering, and it looks like whoever cut it knew what they were doing.
Yeah,
it looks like a really expensive haircut. To be honest with you,
she's unbelievable, and she has a lot of reviews. And no, she wasn't very expensive. So I was shocked, and this woman had all these, those yellow. It's almost like you get those readers that aren't really expensive, and you don't think they're all that good, but they are, or anybody else. She's great, but I every time I get my hair cut, I start whining about it. But if you like it, okay. If everybody likes it, it's just that it's okay. I feel much better. She thinned out. My hair's so thick. I'm so happy to have some less hair because my hair grows fast. So thank you, Barbara. That's nice of you to say. But then next thing I'll do is this. Here comes. Well, I'll get some shoestrings and push it up like this. So. Now, Barbara, tell everybody what you're seeing. I love synchronologist. What is it, synchronologist?
I just call myself, people have called me a syncologist.
Syncologist. I love that.
So it's just kind of stuck.
I love that. I'm really looking forward to doing another show with you soon, too, if you want,
It's just, we can figure it out, and, I'll come in. I have so many interesting stories and people that I've met and things that are happening.
I know. I think that we should try doing. I'm getting ready to go. I will be taking off. I don't know. Julie has my schedule. I have weddings in the family coming up, and then I'm going to be going to someone else's wedding in Puerto Vallarta. This great client wedding in Puerto Vallarta. But in May, I think Julie knows my schedule, and I don't know. And then because I've been breaking up a lot of things with this family stuff, but. I think in May I have another one or two Julie shows to do. We'll talk to you, Barbara, but I do want to talk to you personally.
No rush.
Yeah, but I do want you on again, and so we can have some fun with, I love, we fuse well. We fuse well.
Tonight's show's been really interesting, so let me give it back to you and sit in the background and listen.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be going off to Andrew. Thank you, Barbara, for calling, and Steve's appreciating it really much, too, I know. Yes.
No, my pleasure. I'll talk to you soon, kiddo.
Bye, Barbara. Thank
Bye.
you. What is it, Julie? Julie, I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you. I was going to call it a night now. Was there other people waiting?
No, there is not.
I'm going to be saying goodnight to everybody because my show only goes an hour now. But there's been a lot of people at one time in here. I really appreciate you all coming. I will be here next weekend, Julie. Is that
yes?
True? Okay, I will be here next Saturday night, and I think the Saturday after that as well. Which is
I think so.
My screen just went off. Is that weird? Oh, there I am again. It's like, Good night, Doug. Thank you and good night. I know usually you used to do 2 hours, but only an hour now. But I will be back on. And Bobby, is he still here? Bobby, bless his heart. I hope you're doing okay, Bobby. Anyway, I will be back on in the next couple of weeks. I'll figure it out. But then, boom, bam, and back in June, and be more consistent as well. Yes, Julie?
Yes.
Yes, Julie, I count on you every step of the way. Okay, well, good night, everybody, and have a lovely evening, and have a lovely rest of your weekend. And it's spring's in the air. Don't have sex. Everybody can bring. Just kidding. Bye, you guys. And Julie, say goodbye if you like, please.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.